Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It's I, the Reluctant Gringo, back again with another video. Well, I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. Now, a few weeks back, maybe a week and a half, I posted a video on Jonathan Majors, these text messages and all this stuff that they were playing in court. And I got some nasty comments back, but I was right. And that's the problem. Jonathan Majors has been found guilty of a reckless assault in the 3rd degree and guilty of harassment. Technically, these are all, I believe, misdemeanor charges, but altogether, he could get up to a year in prison. The sentencing is set for February 6th. I don't think he's going to jail. I don't think they're going to send someone to jail off of 4 misdemeanors. I could be wrong. Now, here's the thing, going back to what I said earlier in another video, these text messages that, these narcissistic, these egotistic text messages, wanting his girlfriend to be like the wife of Martin Luther King, wanting to be like Michelle Obama because he's a great man and he's Jonathan Majors and he's done so much for the world and his culture, right? There was a reason why his lawyers were fighting so hard to keep these text messages and these audio recordings out of that courtroom, because they knew, based off of the video evidence alone, there's no way a jury was going to say, well, we think he's the guy assaulting, because he's running away, right? In the videos, he's running away. These audio messages and these text messages were just damning. They were just damning to Jonathan Majors. They hurt his case. And I think the jury saw that, heard that. Now, I'm someone who's been on 2 criminal juries in my lifetime. And I'll be real honest with you. Video evidence is not the greatest evidence because it can be interpreted. A jury can interpret video evidence any way they want. When something is written or said, it's written and said, right? You can look at it, you can try to interpret it, but it's a lot harder to get that wiggle room that you do with video and a lot of things, especially when the video has absolutely no sound to it, no context to it. And so when I heard that these messages had come out a couple weeks ago, I said to myself, but that's it, he's done. I mean, Disney, the hits just keep on coming. They are praying for 2023 to just be over and get to 2024 and hopefully hit the reset button. Is Jonathan Majors going to be King the Conqueror anymore? No, it's impossible. No, it's impossible. They can't. They're going to have to recast him if they keep the character. They're probably not. Smart money is Dr. Doom on replacing it. Smart money is they just hit the reset button on the MCU, period. Somehow, some way, figure it out. At this point, it's a mess. I mean, it was a mess before this. It's a mess even more so now. What sucks is that here's this guy, whether you think he's a great actor or not, and some of the things he's done, I liked him in that series. I think, what did they do it on Showtime or HBO, whichever one they did it, the Lovecraft series. I thought he's decent. Creed 3, it was okay. Loki, I wasn't big on him. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, what I saw of him, I mean, he did what he was supposed to do, the typical stereotypical villain. He's an actor. But like most actors, most actors just don't hit it big. They start and they ramp up and up and up and up. And he was on up and up and up. He was on that trajectory, right? Here's the guy who's obviously worked, you got to work hard to get to where you got to get to. I mean, he worked hard, and it sucks that this type of nonsense, and let's just call it what it is. It's nonsense, right? It was obviously a toxic relationship. No excuse for what he did, but certainly there's no excuse for what she did either, because she didn't appear to be, she's not the most sympathetic person in the world. But here's a guy, his career's done. It's done. No one's going to hire him. Who's going to hire? He's the guy who is convicted of assault. No one's going to hire him. They won't hire Kevin Spacey, who was acquitted on all 30 charges. They're not going to hire somebody who was already convicted, right? It's just not going to happen. Disney right now is in their boardroom trying to figure out how to write the letter to send to him to say, hey, thanks for the memories and see you later. There's just no way they can keep him. So he was found not guilty on 2 charges, right? He was found not guilty on the let's see here, the intentional assault in the 3rd degree. He was found not guilty in the aggravated harassment in the 2nd degree. If he got those, he'd be going to jail. So he's got the misdemeanors. So I think at this point, you're not going to see jail time, like I said. His career's over. Disney is going to try and figure it out. But that's it. That's the breaking news. And, I feel bad for him. I think, if you go back and look at some of those text messages, he talked about, how do I say this without getting banned on YouTube? Self-harm or self-deletion. I'd be quite worried if I was a friend of Jonathan Majors or family or whatever, or a loved one. The holidays can be stressful as it is. Imagine the holiday season. You're losing your life that you worked hard for. He'll definitely appeal. He'll appeal because that's the big thing. He'll appeal the decision on letting those text messages and those audio recordings into the trial. And if that gets upheld, if they say, hey, if an appeals court says you shouldn't have allowed that evidence in there, he'll get a new trial. He won't automatically have the verdict erased. He'll get a new trial. And that's really his best hope. That's what he's going to be looking for. But it's just not a good year for Jonathan Majors. His movies flopped, basically. Relationships flopped or fell apart, basically. And now his life is, there's no easy way to say it. His life has come to a very abrupt halt. He's not going to be able to do what he wanted to do. As a public figure, he's now marked by this. I mean, you look at Aquaman 2, people are still talking about Amber Heard and not wanting to see the movie because of Amber Heard. Again, people are still not hiring Kevin Spacey, even though he was acquitted. Trevor Bauer still isn't back in the major league organizations, even though it came out was all a lie. The women made up all this stuff about Trevor Bauer because they thought it would be funny, and they ruined that guy's life, professional baseball player. So you got all this going on, and you feel for the victim, you feel for Jonathan Majors. Again, a toxic relationship, but now from a business standpoint, from an entertainment standpoint, which is I guess where we want to refocus all this, is that what does Disney do going forward? What's the plan? Smart money, Dr. Doom. But then again, Disney's not really been doing the smart things lately. But there you have it. Jonathan Majors found guilty of assault and harassment. But I feel bad. I feel bad for everybody all around. There's no winners here. There really are not. And that's this seems to be the way of life right now. Again, Disney's got to come up with some ideas, and Jonathan Majors is going to go rethink of his life and hopefully stay out of jail and hopefully serve his sentence and come out the other side. We'll see what happens. But with that, that's what I got for you in this video. If you want to see what I've been up to over the last week, I've been making a couple of top 10 videos. So if you want to check them out, I'll put the links in the description below. My top 10 lightsaber duels in Star Wars. You guys know it's been a while since I got you another Star Wars video. So I figured I'll do my top 10 countdown of lightsaber duels. And I also just been watching a lot of Christmas stuff. And I said to myself, there's so many Christmas specials and episodes out there. I'd give you my recommendations for the top 10 Christmas specials and Christmas episodes that you can watch. A lot of them's on YouTube now. So hopefully you enjoy that. But other than that, as always, I am still your reluctant gringo. And from south of the border, salut and a huevo.